Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about light pollution and how to protect yourself from it. Coming up. Hi, this is Ernesto from Attaboy Cowboy, and on this channel, we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Now in today's video, I want to talk about light pollution and how to protect yourself. So I live in downtown Los Angeles, in the big city. And I had some friends over the other night and they said, wow, you're lucky, look at this killer view you have. And here it is, I had this awesome view from my bedroom window and I can basically look at it all night. But as I sit there looking at it, I started thinking about the health effects of it. And let me talk a little bit about how we evolved, humans and animals, over the last millions of years, and as long as humans have been around, we've always had a day and night cycle, right? It's light during the day and dark at night. And all of a sudden, in the last 50 to 100 years, we've developed all this technology, we have lights everywhere, and we're getting exposed to more and more lights. In fact, a lot of times I drive around my neighborhood, I see people putting up more and more lights outside their house on top of the street lights that are already out there. So there's very little darkness in a lot of places I go to. And it's kind of unfortunate because it causes a lot of health problems. So I'm gonna go over 3 components. We're gonna talk about how it affects the environment, how it affects your health, and what you can do about it, number 3. So one issue it causes is it disrupts sleep. Now light disrupts your sleep patterns. It's going to cause altered sleep patterns in humans and in animals, because your body has been programmed over evolution that when it sees darkness, it goes to sleep. And when you shut down, a whole different set of processes start to take effect in your body. A lot of hormonal changes, a lot of cleaning, a lot of fixing your body up while you're sleeping, basically. And the same thing happens in animals. When you're not in complete darkness, your body doesn't do things the way it's supposed to. So it starts to alter your hormones. And what that does, it can cause obesity, it can cause anxiety, it can cause mood swings, it can cause a lot of problems in humans and in animals, because we need darkness to help produce melatonin. Melatonin's a really important hormone that we use to help us with our sleep-wake cycle. If you're like in a room that's kind of dark, but not really, then your body's gonna kind of produce melatonin and not really. So it has that kind of effect. Think about trying to go to sleep in the middle of the day. I've never been able to go to sleep in the middle of the day. Even if I've been up all night working, if I lie down, I can't go to sleep when the sun's out. It's just too much light. Now try going to sleep during dusk, like 4 or 5 o'clock when it's kind of starting to get dark, depending on where you live in the world. And it might be a little easier, but it's quite not as easy as it is if you try to go to sleep at midnight or 2 a.m. You'll go right to sleep because of the darkness. So that's what happens when you have all this artificial light around you. And it's having a lot of effects on the environment. For migratory birds and insects, they get distracted. So birds that are migratory have hardwired patterns of how they're supposed to fly and where they're supposed to fly, etc. And imagine they're flying overhead and they see this really bright light somewhere. They're gonna get attracted to it. So they're gonna fly to it. It's gonna throw them off course, and a lot of times they end up getting lost and they don't get to where they need to go. In fact, after September 11th, the city of New York had some really bright lights beaming up to commemorate the tragic event that happened in New York City. Unfortunately, it was attracting birds from all over the place. People were saying that they could see thousands of sparkling objects and they couldn't tell what they were till they got closer and they saw they were just attracting birds from all over the place. So the city of New York actually started working with the Audubon Society, which is a society for birds and ornithology, and they started turning off the lights whenever they saw large migrations of birds heading towards it. That had some success, but it's still going to disrupt those patterns in those animals for the same reasons. It's going to throw off their hormones. It's going to get them lost. Another thing I wanted you to think about is at night when you walk by a street lamp and you see all these mosquitoes and moths and insects flying around the light. Well, all those insects are attracted to the light, and a lot of times a moth can fly right into the light, and as soon as it hits it, boom, it's dead, falls on the floor. Next time you see one of those lights, look on the ground. You'll see a lot of dead insects on the floor. It's because they fly right into it and they die. Another thing it causes is it causes increased predation. So if there's bats or owls or some of these other birds that are hunting insects, it makes it really easy for them. When they see dozens of them around the light, they'll come around and just pick them all off. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but that causes reverberations throughout the ecology. A lot of those insects are nocturnal pollinators, so we need them to pollinate plants. When those plants don't get pollinated, then those plants don't grow. So it's causing a demise system-wide in our ecology. And now some of the other less obvious issues with light pollution is it disrupts research. For astronomers and people like that study the sky or do physics, it's really hard to do research when you have all this light pollution. In fact, here in Southern California, we have Palomar Mountain, we have the Griffith Observatory, we have the Wilson Observatory, we have multiple observatories here because Southern California is actually the birthplace of modern astronomy. It's one of the best places in the world where you can stargaze. The air quality is really good, and it's just a really perfect environment to go stargazing. But because of all this light pollution, that disrupts telescopes, so you're not able to do as much research. It also obviously causes a lot of pollution when you have extra lights going on at night. Now, a few more issues that it causes with humans is it causes damage to your eyes, it causes obesity, and it lowers immune function. Now, what are some of the things you can do? Well, I talk to a lot of patients and I ask them what's going on. They tell me they have sleep problems, and I ask them what's going on, what are you doing at night? I want to know about your routine. They tell me about what they eat, what they drink, what they're doing, their habits, their activities. And some of the things I really look at is, do they lie in bed and look at TV, or are they staring at their tablet or their cell phone before they go to bed? Well, this is called blue light. This light that's produced by laptops and smartphones and stuff like that is particularly disruptive to human beings. It throws off your hormone levels. So one of the things you can do is an hour or two before you go to bed, don't look at monitors. Maybe open a book, read a book, but don't look at electronic devices because you're going to get that blue light emitted at you. Another thing you want to do is put in blackout shades. Now, I shut out all the light in my room and I sleep really well. But before I did that, I wasn't really sleeping very well because I had this constant light coming in from downtown Los Angeles. So I put in blackout lights. And then one of the less obvious things is look at a lot of your appliances in your room. I know my TV, it has the brand name on the bottom and it has an LED light. It's lit just 24 hours a day marketing in my room. So I put a dark sticker over it so I can't see that anymore. Light pads, as you can see here, I put a sticker on this light pad. It was creating a green light that was so bright, it was actually illuminating my entire room, kind of like a night light. And you don't really need that. So you want to eliminate all those little lights that are all over your room from your devices. That's going to cause problems. And finally, around your home, you can turn the lights off. If you feel like you really need to have lights on the outside, use motion detector lights. Because I know some folks say, well, I need it for safety. And I don't know, sometimes people may live in a neighborhood where they do need some lights, or they may at least think they need lights. So put some motion detector lights. In fact, those are a lot more effective because when they come on, they scare people off. They think, oh, someone's watching me, because it draws attention to them. But try not to leave lights on all around your property, like in your porch and stuff like that. It's not good for you. It's not good for the animals outside, for the environment. And it creates a lot of light pollution. And you're wasting energy, so you're causing more global warming gases that go into the environment. So again, these are all really subtle things, and I was talking about this with a patient the other day, and he was telling me, wow, doc, come on, you're going off the edge here, you're worrying about lights. It might seem like a really minor detail, but all these little things have a cumulative effect on your human biology. So it's a good time to take stock of all these things and how they're affecting your body and how you can be as effective as you want, because ultimately that's what we want. We want optimum health, optimum performance, and we want to live a long, healthy, happy life. So some people this may affect more than others, and definitely it's something that you want to look at, and if it's not a big deal, just eliminate it so you have one less thing that's dragging down your performance. Now if you have any questions, please comment below. Thank you for listening.